Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is episode 5, playing through hard mode. In the last episode we expanded our production. We now have 2 engines, lumber mills, and gear workshops. And we're also collecting bad water, which will be very important in today's episode. And right off the bat we have a bunch of beavers who are sitting around doing nothing. We're getting pretty efficient at pumping water, so we don't need all these guys working. And before we get too far into the video, just want to make the announcement that the 1000 subscriber Q&A will be coming out very soon. It's not going to be the next video, but it's going to be the one after that. And that happens to be my 100th video that I will have uploaded to YouTube. So leave any questions you have for that Q&A down below. We still need some more questions for the video. And the next video that I'm going to be uploading will be another Mega Build Let's Play video. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And like I mentioned, the bad water is going to be pretty important in today's episode because I'm going to try and get some dynamite placed over here. But the thing is that we don't have dynamite unlocked yet. First we need to unlock the explosives factory and then we'll get the dynamite. We already have enough for the explosives factory, so we can go ahead and look at placing one over here. And it looks like we have a beaver sitting around. Let's switch this from fermented soybeans to fermented cassavas. We actually have a few stored up, so this guy can start doing something. And per one of the comments that you guys suggested, I decided to move the farmhouses over here. That means we can get rid of these ones. And this will free up some more space for planting. We can do the same down here. And since it looks like we already went through all of our canola, we can expand that as well. Might as well go all the way over here. It looks like we're having the same problem for this other fermenter. We're out of soybeans, and we only have some planted over here. I think we should probably even expand the farm more over in this direction. Now we still only have a small portion of the beavers actually being able to use the campfire and some of the other amenities. Some of that might have to do with the working hours, so we're going to drop that by a couple, and then we're going to keep putting in some campfires. Also want to get some decorations on the go. And the beavers just finished this explosives factory, although I do think we're still waiting on getting enough science for the dynamite. We do have a few beavers working in there, but as soon as the drought hits, then we'll be able to pause these water pumpers and move them into some other jobs. But even with most of these water pumpers paused, we're still a little short on beavers. And we did add a couple breeding pods. And I go ahead and add another 2. And with more beavers means more housing, so we're going to have some more houses placed here. It'll also allow us to build some stuff on top of them since they're level with this area. And after the last episode, I started thinking about it, and I realized that I placed this really far to the right. We're losing all this water over here. I would like to move it, but we're going to wait a little bit before doing that. But this will be something that I'll address in a future episode. And with the drought approaching, we'll finally be able to use this area to store some extra water. So we have an 11-day drought. This is the longest that we've faced so far. Although I need to pause all these water pumpers. Overall, we're doing really good on water, over 2,000. We will be looking at expanding our water storage coming up, since this is not even halfway as long as the droughts can be. And with a couple unemployed beavers, we can go ahead and unpause this builder's hut. But I am seeing some more injured beavers wandering around. Oh, we have a sneaky couple of water pumps left open, but we turned them off, and the water is looking like it's at an okay level. We will need to turn this on though, because the beavers using these showers is going to deplete the water down here. And we don't have any storage for the explosives. We gotta change that. We should also just set up some more storage places for the future, so let's go ahead and get that started right now. I also thought about it a little bit more, and we're going to end up putting a couple more medium water storage tanks right here. And then in the future we'll put a large one right in this 3x3 grid. But for now, just having these 2 extra should provide a good amount of water storage for the next drought. And the perfect place for some sick beavers is next to some bad water, right? Nothing says get better like laying next to toxic sludge. And we are drastically running out of wood. I just unpaused a few of these lumberjack flags, so we should not have any wood shortage with all these trees over here. And we got the explosive storage ready, so now this guy can keep making some more dynamite. And we also have enough science to unlock the single dynamite, so we'll go ahead and put some of that right along here, although we're a little bit too far away to reach it. We're going to make a slight detour around here, but these are not a priority because we will not be detonating anything right here during the dry season. Plus we have to get down here and chop down some of these trees. So looking over to this area, this is where we're going to be installing the new bad water diversion system and also making a nice reservoir around here. But it is a bit of a walk, so we're going to be setting up another district and then also migrating some beavers over here. So the first step is getting some stairs and a path set up. And we're actually starting to drop a little bit in planks. I imagine that's because we built some structures like these that require a lot of planks, but nonetheless we should start turning this on. And we probably also need just a little bit more power. Maybe one extra beaver. We just need to get up around 890. I think this guy will provide enough, although there's no workers available. Reduce the amount of builders. That moves one into there. And he gets it up just shy of 890. That's good enough. And we just had a few babies grow up, so now we have 0 unemployed beavers and 0 vacant jobs. We can always get a couple lumberjack flags on the go, and we have some more trees to chop down. I actually have these trees not marked for cutting since they provide pine resin, and that is needed in getting some treated planks. And with the water level getting pretty low, let's go ahead and lower this. Oh, we are nearly out. It's not going to give us a whole lot of water, but it is going to give us a little bit. Although we do have this water dump right here and the one over here. But it looks like we actually dropped quite a bit of water. We're down about 1,000 and it's only been 5 days. We should definitely look at getting some more water storage set up. So that is the new priority before the wet season begins. With us increasing how many beavers we have, we should look at getting some more inventor sets set up. So we can go ahead and start getting a few of them placed up here. These will just be backup jobs for when we actually have a lot more beavers. I'm seeing a lot more beavers in the campfires. How's their well-being? It's only at 12, which is nothing crazy good. We could get that up quite a bit. Although it does look like a lot of them have access to rooftop terraces and campfires. Getting some fun stuff set up for them is another thing we can look at doing. But before we do any of that, we are going to get the large tank unlocked. We're still a little bit of ways for getting the science. And then we'll go ahead and replace this big boy. And just a moment later we have 600 science, so let's go ahead and unlock this, and then we'll place it right here. And this one water tank alone is going to vastly increase our water storage. We do want to prioritize this. I think we have enough of everything. Looks like we have plenty of metal blocks, gears, and planks, and I think we'll have enough water pumpers to fill it all up. And since we only have 4 crops up here, we can have each of these beavers focus on a different one. Canola, soybean, and cassava, because we really don't need kohlrabi. We are just about completely maxed out on it. Plus we have some kohlrabi over here harvested by these farmers. And we did end up having the water dry out over here. We can detonate this. And so now when the water comes back, it'll fill this up. It will flood this building, so we'll have to move it up here. But in the meantime, we can get a couple platforms set up. And we are only a couple days away from the next wet season. I have another medium water storage tank set up. Plus it looks like this one is really close to being finished. We just need some more metal blocks. And we have enough, so they should do that pretty quickly. And doing a resource check, we do have enough water. We have over 600 still. We're doing way better on wood, over 400, and then food over 1,000. And then the rest of the resources are looking pretty good as well. And the beavers are making their way up here. We have the path almost complete, just a few more sets of stairs. It'll probably make the most sense to have the district center somewhere over here, which is a nice flat area. Oh man, this beaver's chopping down trees up here. I don't really want to do that. I want to focus on these ones. But we'll just move this up here when the water comes. Not a huge deal. I think he can still chop trees underwater, but we'll be able to verify that during the wet season. And our water storages are looking a little dry. There's still some in a couple of them, but this upcoming wet season could not be at a better time. So in preparation, we'll start pausing some of these jobs, especially all these inventors' huts. And the drought is over. You can see the water is slowly returning, very slowly. But as it comes back, I'll start filling up this area, which will need it very quickly. We'll lower that. And you can see the beavers pumping is creating a flow from the water over in this direction. And the huge surge of water continues. We can fill up this area a little bit. So now we have the capacity for over 3,600 water. Increased it by about 50% during this last drought. And this guy is underwater as we suspected. We'll get rid of that and then throw in another lumberjack flag over here. And having this will be just a nice little extra store of water. Keep some of the land green over here. And we can also get some dynamite set up over here. Then we'll be able to have some water flow all the way down in this direction. And then we will need to remove these. So we'll make a path over here. And then we'll make sure that we remove them going backwards. Don't need to trap any beavers on the dam. And after one day, our water's almost all the way up to 1,000. Man, we are just rolling in fermented soybeans. Fermented cassavas are not doing too hot. We do have a lot of them, but I think we'll switch this over just for a little bit. It's probably the recipe ratio because you can see 4 goes into 10 versus here 6 goes into 20, which you do need a little bit of canola oil, but still, that's a way better ratio than this one is. And this poor beaver is bringing dynamite all the way over here, and it's literally just about to be sunrise and the next day. And then as soon as we detonate these, we do want to get some floodgates set up, because if there is a bad tide announced, we don't want bad water flowing all the way through this area. So we'll just get a couple of those, and then also get a couple of platforms. But to keep it continuous, we'll go like that, and then move that over just a little bit. And we do want to high prioritize these. And we have almost removed all of these as well. We just need to get rid of one more. We're not doing as great on water as I was hoping. I think we're going to start prioritizing some of these buildings by haulers, especially the ones over here that are farther away from these water storages. And then we'll just need to make sure we have enough haulers as well. And luckily we didn't have anything announced for the beginning of day 4. Still have a little bit of time before a drought or bad tide appears. We also could do this. Let's extend the path over here and then get a few dams set up, and that'll give us a little bit of extra bad water storage, which normally you don't really want bad water storage, but since these guys are pumping it, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Plus we're already not going to be building any crops up here or any trees. And then worst case scenario, we could remove it if it became a problem. Another reason having haulers carry water from here is more efficient is also because there's a carrying capacity of plus 100%, so they can actually move twice as much water as the normal water pumpers. But we aren't going up terribly quickly, so I think we're going to bump the working hours up to 18, at least for the rest of the wet season. And we have a drought approaching, not another bad tide, so this is not super important to finish, but we are almost done with it. We just need to get one more of these floodgates, which just needs to be constructed by this guy. You can see the beavers have already started working on the dam over here. It just requires logs, and we have a lot of them right now. So they should be able to make that fairly quickly. We have 3 days to go up in water, and we're still around 1,500. It's not looking great. We do have a lot more beavers. Maybe we'll try and get another couple water pumpers set up. This is very much at the 11th hour, but I guess we're just doing what we can. We'll unpause these builders, help get these constructed pretty quickly, and then also make sure these jobs are prioritized. If we get some dynamite placed over here, and then just for continuity's sake over here as well, we can also look at getting another water pump set up here. And it doesn't look like it goes down very far, but that's only because the dynamite's there. If we go out like this, you can see it goes down quite a ways. So getting a couple of these set up here would mean that we'd have constant access to water, at least until this dries up. But we can worry about this during the drought. The other stuff, we should try and get this set up. Oh, perfect. Yeah, this we want to set up during the wet season so they can pump water right now. And with less than 2 days until the drought, water is going up. It's going up way slower than I was hoping it would. But we are up to almost 70 beavers, and I guess I just didn't really account for that. I think what we'll end up doing is, since it's a drought, we will raise this up, pump all the water we can, and then as this starts drying out, we'll just keep lowering this. Since we have this fluid dump, this one, and then this little pool that can help keep some of the area green over here. I think it'll be pretty important to get the reservoir set up over here and get the bad tide diversion system in this area, which means that we have quite a few projects ahead of us, because we need to set up the perimeter all the way around here, because I don't want it to just be a little bit of water storage. I want it to be a massive amount so we can constantly pump it during a long drought or bad tide. And then for the bad water, we'll need to be able to cut a canal through here and then also have the bad water flow down this way and into here. But we don't want it to be permanently flooding this whole area, which will mean that we'll need to have even more channelization set up, so it'll go this way, or we could just punt it off the side of the map, but I kind of like the idea of having it go over here. We also have room for another large water storage tank, so we'll have that set up. We'll high prioritize it, although I don't think the beavers will be able to make it in time. It is the last day before the drought hits, and we're doing okay on water. We're just not doing as great as I was hoping. I think we'll get through it fine, but then again, it depends on how long the drought is. But this is a good wake-up call for getting some more water pumping capacity and then also some more water storage set up. We can look at getting the district center set up over here. We won't fully connect it, although I don't like that. Let's get rid of this. We're going to have it lined up right here, and then we won't connect it in. we'll have the beavers of this first district build some of the infrastructure. So we have just a few of the basics set up. We can have that set to water. We still need to get some housing and a few other things, but we'll just start with that. It looks like the end of this wet season has just about arrived. We got up to just under 3,000 water. Not too bad. It's more than last time, but we have a lot more beavers now. Although we're not going to stop pumping, we're going to let them pump all this out and then also have them pump this out as well. And we have started the first day of the drought. It is 13 days, a couple more days than the last one. We'll have to see how this goes. We'll let the beavers keep pumping, and then as this goes down, we'll start lowering this, and then just make sure we pump away the rest of the water. And then we'll have to make sure that these are both raised, and then turn this guy on to keep this area green. Same with this guy over here. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's episode. Be sure to comment down below any questions you have for the 1000 sub Q&A coming up very shortly. And also be sure to smash the like button and become a subscriber. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.